Hello, everybody, and welcome to this pretty amazing demonstration about how easy it is in VizcomAI with minimum effort to create custom created digital avatars, two-dimensional or three-dimensional. What I will focus at the beginning is how I created these two avatars only by using a text prompt and modifying it. And then in these four avatars, I will show you how using a reference image and just then a text prompt, you can then create basically with more control those digital avatars. Okay, very good. So let's get started. Up front, there's one thing I would like to stress. Whenever you create a new image, you see I'm in the workbench, please create the image in portrait mode. The main reason is humans, when they're standing at tall, so a landscape is not very usable because we hardly fill up the canvas. And with a portrait image, you have more vertical pixels, 1920 pixels versus 1080 in landscape. And that is actually very important because the more pixels you have, the more information or canvas you give the AI to create detailed human AI renderings. One common issue with AI is if the area is too small, so not enough pixels, you will get distorted or mutated human AI renderings. With that said, also, this is a good tip in general to create humans bigger pixel size wise than you need, because then we can import them into your image and scale them down. Okay, with that said, let's exit this, delete this, and let's take a look at how I created this 3D model. And this was pretty easy. All I did was write a prompt, as you can see, a man standing. This was version 1, there's version 2. This one then actually I used this image also as a reference with 100%. And you see, with just only saying a man standing, I'm not really giving the AI really a lot of directions. Dress code, shoes, pants, t-shirt, long sleeve shirt, or hat, eyewear, or whatever. So this is one thing you can do if you simply would like to see what the AI would generate for you. I'm also not saying from where I'm seeing this person. This is another important element maybe to do, seen from the side, seen from the front. From the front here, this actually was pretty good. And then the image you like, you can select the layer and then create your detailed sharp or detailed smooth 3D model, which then we can then, when done, download as a 3D model. I load those then into Blender, where then do renderings and all the stuff, or for scale reference, for example, in programs like SketchUp, Fusion, or Shaper 3D, export them as STL from Blender so you can import them. Very good, perfect. And that, now this is then what was created. He looks a little bit cartoonish. This is where the technology right now is, with using an image as a reference and then creating a 3D model. But when we in Viscom then load actually this 3D model into the space and create a new AI rendering, this will look much better. This is more like a compositional style guide. Very good. Okay. So let's go to him. How did I create our business version? And all I needed to do was simply add more to the prompt. A man standing in a business suit, outfit, full body visible. Why did I do this full body visible? Because as you can see, the shoes were not really in it. And I tried with that to trigger the AI to create an AI rendering with the whole person on it and not just the shoes, for example, missing. that unfortunately didn't really work out much. So what I did was, as you can see, I went to the select tool, scaled this image a little bit down, and then used this as a reference and created a new AI rendering. This time, as you can see, the shoes are in there. Perfect. Another variation. This time I didn't use this one as a reference. So I turned all this off, basically used this prompt. Quite interesting. The AI gave him no socks, but then nice glossy shoes. The outfit, everything looks pretty good. Reminds me a little bit about actor of Superman. And then again, you select the layer and then create the avatar you would like to have. Also here, this is all pretty cool. Okay. I don't know if somebody in a business environment is going to be dressed this nicely, but doesn't have socks on. Again, I didn't tell the AI to take care of that. Let's go to this version. This was actually really interesting to develop. So I had him, and then I created her by simply doing nothing else and adding and changing this prompt to a woman standing in a pose, brown shoes. But also she had the same skin where at the heels, so no socks. And the pants were a little bit too short. So I used then the brush tool, selected the individual colors, and then painted the pants a little bit longer. Used a gray to paint something in that looks like socks. And then this, this rendering was then created when I did this AI model, which, as you can see, is pretty good. And then I was curious, so how can we give her a different outfit? So with this reference photo, I then did this version by changing the prompt to gray short skirts, black high heels. And there it is. Now this is pretty amazing. Looks all pretty good. And here is the 3D model. As we can see, the 3D model has some issues. There's something going on here. Also, some of the hair is in the face as a texture. But this is again fine when we later load those, or when we export those models and then load them back into a different VizCom file and pause these people and then do a new AI rendering. That more or less will be ignored and corrected. Kind of like also here this artifact, but otherwise this is beautiful. Really, the shoes is kind of good. This looks really very realistic, and it's only a matter of minutes or so. So these were basically created by starting with a prompt and then playing with the results. But specifically, let's say you design an exhibit and you want to have a really nice broad range of visitors, then you can use that method, or you actually look up architectural photos of humans and use those as a reference. And this is actually what I did. So you can Google architecture 2D people, go to images, tools. You want to have large, and then you find all these interesting compositions here with people. For example, I can open this one. There it is. And then you simply screenshot one of these photos you like. Ideally, you want to do photos of not somebody from behind. You want to see the face, and ideally also not directly from the front. So kind of like she is good. he probably will be good because this helps really then the AI to also understand the human figure. So if I go back to Viscom now, this is, for example, how she was created. And it's actually quite interesting, the story. So here, I loaded her in. I simply went to upload an image. There, for example, she is. You see these images are really tiny. This is the original size. And then the image was scaled up. It's a little bit blurry, but again, that's not that complicated or a problem. Again, this is only a compositional helper. A person wearing a yellow and blue jacket, black pants, beige shoes, hair in a bun. And here, if I select this prompt, and I think the prompt also initially stated that there was holding a black bag. Yeah, very good. So this image then was created into this AI, which, yeah, there are some issues. So this bag, unfortunately, is not really usable. How did I fix this then actually? I created a new layer. On this layer, I simply painted right over this bag and kind of like there, and then created a new version. And that's actually a good example also to show why I say when these 3D models have issues, doesn't matter because later it just, uh, when we make new AI images, it will autocorrect it. And it's just astonishing how good this worked out. No, she doesn't have that handbag anymore, but in the 3D model, oh, it's interesting now. So the arm is extended. Maybe we could put the arm over a piece of merchandise, or it's resting on a table or something like this. Yeah. I mean, she also looks really like walking. Maybe it's a handrail or something. Very good. And here, pretty much this was the same process and a very, very blurry reference photo. I was just curious how the AI would perform. Interestingly, it did really understand the prompt quite well. And then it turned that into this. So the pose is different. And that's also because I set this to 55. If I go a little bit higher, you will see possibly one issue happening because the reference photo is so unusable. If I go with the influence too high, it will influence the AI in this time it doesn't do it in a negative way. Sometimes you can see artifacts, unfortunately, popping in. Okay, this time it didn't, but has some interesting AI issues there. What you see here, this one is really, really nice. Oh, curly hair. We could maybe say walking. Let's see if that could trigger that more. So that's a reference. Let's go. Nope, I do not get a, a walking person. Oh, yes, the the foot is higher, but that's not really what I was looking for. Oh, maybe if we go a little bit this way, let's see if that can do it. And there's a little bit of emotion. There it is. Perfect. Cool. Okay. Yeah, very nice. Now you see here again is this issue of she is a tick too short. So this is cut off. So then I can simply make this bigger. Now I'm using this really as a full reference. Render this one more time. Then actually everything will be filled. And then I can convert that into a 3D model. Oh, unfortunately it did not. Okay, maybe let's go this way. Ah, there we are. Perfect. Very good. It's also really interesting to see how the shoes change a lot. This is just so beautiful with the AI. You can really play with this quite a lot. And then when you like a photo, no, turn it into an AI. The handbag in this version worked out really well. Now you have the strings and all the stuff. Pretty cool. Okay, very good. And with her, I was not necessarily fully able to replicate this pose with both arms up with the photo. So I got most times these types of references. One possibility maybe is just simply an image seen from the side, which is just not really ideal to give the AI enough information about the pose. Now we see where the feet are, we understand it, but can the AI understand it as much? And then here I just rotated her, but well, it's pretty cool. There's again this issue, for example, with this problem there. So I could um, wherever this model would be loaded in, I just paint something over it. Or what I could try out now, if this actually could work out. Let's say we do this from here. So I make a new layer. This is a white background. So I will select white and then paint over this to just remove it. Wearing sunglasses, sending and holding a phone, looking up. Maybe looking up and holding a phone. Let's see. This is also this really interesting process of working with 3D models and from it generating more 2D models because you can rotate the 3D models. And you see now the shoes are corrected. Oh, cool. Now she has actually two devices in her hand, and that is because there is some stuff there the AI thinks is actually a device. Let's say add, and then here again, you could go ahead and then create another 3D model. Yeah, and that basically is it. So in summary, you can be very brief with your prompt. You might get not necessarily what you want, but you might get some random interesting elements. And then when you want to specify really more what they should wear, the businessman turned into the businesswoman is just using a male reference, but using the prompt text to represent a female version that was sufficient, or changing the wearing no socks with painting over it to make the person wear socks, or with the other three, then we also use reference photos as a fashionable style guide. So you can create them very randomly, or you can be way more specific. Yeah, and that's it.